Hey everybody, it's Dave Scott here of Spaced Out Radio. Thank you for your patience on us going back out in the forest for Secrets of the Forest here on the Spaced Out Radio YouTube channel. And unfortunately, Tim James is not with us. He's still battling his health issues. So that's why we haven't been out here in 6 long weeks. But I got my good buddy Marc Spender. You may know him from our YouTube chat as Timber Hunter. He is very familiar with this area. He's been with us numerous times up here when we've had the Sasquatch activity, including the first time in 2018, when Merle, myself, and Mark had a couple of close encounters there, and we heard the samurai chatter. And he was with us last year when we were filming and being our armed guard, and he's the one who found the track about 10 feet from our tent. And he's a good guy. He's an extremely knowledgeable and amazing outdoorsman. So we're on the path here to Flight 21 right now. I will introduce you guys to Mark when we finally get settled in and parked up and everything. Now, I know the audio is going to be a little bit different because I don't have microphones for my camera just yet. Those belong to Tim and his camera. But Tim is unavailable right now, so I'm working on something else. So forgive me for the audio, forgive me for the shaky video, because Tim still has my gimbal, which I got to get back from him, but he's out of commission right now. I can't wait for him to get better and hopefully get back into the field with us, because it's a good time out here. But nonetheless, we got little Marky Spender. You got me. This is Secrets of the Forest. If you look at this drive, how much more secretive could it get? Outside of these big bumps that have been carved in here. So it's kind of cool to be back. I got to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous. It's been 6 weeks since we've been out here, and in talking to Robin Haynes, I was wondering, you know, will we be accepted in coming back? And she says absolutely. They've been waiting for us, and according to Robin, she's even stated that, you know, telepathically or psychically, the Sasquatch have been asking where Tim and I have been. I think it'll be a good surprise for them to have Mark here, you know, because they are familiar with Mark. They know Mark is a good dude that isn't going to all of a sudden put a pointy stick in their face if they come around. He's not that kind of guy. But we're about to have some fun. And I'm curious to see if anything at the gifting site has moved. I'm curious just to feel the energy of the area. And let us get started here on Secrets of the Forest. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, ring that bell. If you're new here, we appreciate that. And enjoy the video, because we're going to see what happens here at Flight 21. Hey everybody, it's Dave Scott here. We are out at Flight 21. And this guy over here, that's little Marky Spender. And like I said just moments ago, it's been about 6 weeks since we've been out here. And Mark has a good history with this place. Mark is not only a hunter, a hunting guide, an animal tracker, an animal trapper for pretty much the last 80 years of his life, okay? But he has also developed his intuition a lot, where when we're out here, he does get feelings about what is going on. And Mark, I just want, if you want to come just a little bit closer to, let's trade sides, because you're quieter than I am. But it's been a while since you've been out here, and once again, I apologize for the quality of audio. I haven't got proper microphones for my setup yet, and I haven't got my gimbal, so it might be a little bit shaky today. Put that all on me. We'll try and make it a little bit better. But Mark, thank you so much for coming out to Flight 21. It's been a while since you've been out here. You've had some special things happen since 2018 when we first came out here.
Yep. Last year we found the track. We actually found 2 tracks out here. And we were actually able to measure both tracks, and both tracks were the same length. It's been numerous things here over the years. It's been headaches and lots of feelings and all the rest. So it's good to be back.
The funny part about you is, before you met me a number of years ago, you never really believed in Sasquatch until I showed you a footprint. Now, yeah, we've had a sighting a couple of years ago. We just celebrated the 3rd anniversary of that sighting on Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, I know you're a skeptical guy. You've been in the forest. You're a guy who can pick out a a bear print or a deer print or a moose print, you know, where the rest of us are scrambling looking where it is, but that's just your forestry experience and spending so much time in the bush. What's the difference for you in dealing with Sasquatch rather than dealing with, say, a moose or a bear?
Well, the animals like the moose and the bear and stuff like that, we see those. We see those on, several occasions. And to actually get physical proof, to actually see, what we're out here looking for, and not just rely on what we think is around or feelings that we think are around. And that's why we're out here, is to increase our chances.
This is a good spot to do it. We have a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
And for people, just as a reminder, one of the reasons why both Mark and I are armed with pointy sticks is because we don't worry about the Sasquatch. We're not people who will raise these to a Sasquatch or any cryptid for that matter, but there is a lot of wildlife out here. As we're filming this, we're right in the heart of hunting season. We're just a few weeks away from rutting season, and the animals are a little bit more aggressive. They're foraging more, they're exploring more. Mark, maybe talk a little bit about the dangers of this area right in the wilderness where Flight 21 is.
Well, right now at this time, the moose are actually in the rut. So we could come across a bull moose at any time. Hopefully we can avoid that situation. I do carry as well as the rifle. I have pepper spray on me as well. It's just my everyday hunting, what I pack when I'm hunting. And if there's lots of grizzly bears in the area, we're actually getting more and more grizzly bears. If anybody's familiar with what's going on in BC, since they've stopped hunting grizzly bears, we're getting more and more grizzly bear attacks, which is what we're really trying to avoid. So the black bears we can usually deal with. Again, first line of defense is common sense. Second line of defense is the pepper spray. Third line of defense, if we need it, is the rifles.
Yeah. So I know for a lot of you people who've looked at Sasquatch before, you always make comments about, hey man, Sasquatch doesn't like guns. They don't like the pointy sticks. They shy away from them. What we do that we don't show on camera is we actually go through a little speech basically explaining to the area that these are for our protection from the wild animals, not for the cryptids. And we've always been very successful in honoring that, and that is something that we will continue to honor. We're going to head off to the gifting site right now just to check things out. Once again, it's just kind of me doing everything. I don't have my gimbal with me. It's still with Tim. And so if the camera is a little bit shaky, we're going to take care of that. I'll try and film the best I can. A little bit later on when we get back from the gifting site, we're going to sit down with Mark, because we've had a couple of real big experiences here, especially in 2018 and then again in 2024. And I would love the audience to be able to see what your thoughts are on everything, because I know the last time we were here together, it was a little haywire.
Yeah, well, you asked me what I thought was going on, and then you actually talked to Robin afterwards, and we hadn't conversed with her previously, and she said exactly the same thing as what I said.
Yes, indeed. So, well, let's hold the suspense on that one, and let's grab the camera here, and we will talk to you guys very soon as we start our trek into Flight 21. The familiar old trails. Now, at any time, if I have to drop this phone, it's probably because there's an animal in the way. But first and foremost, we have to see if Lee's stuff is still here. And yes, his glow-in-the-dark marble is still there. The shell and the feather are still there. So they really haven't moved in 6 weeks. Well, the feather's fallen down, but that's okay. Now, if we come over here, we're going to go to the trading tree. Not the gifting site, the trading tree, because this is where we had the marbles. And I can see one marble. Oh, there's two marbles right there. So they are still there. All of a sudden I got the feeling, Mark, that we're being watched.
Yeah, I've said that right from the get-go. Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's go over here. course, I'm pulling a Tim now and making sure I hit part of the wreckage. Now, it's really interesting. So I just want to show you guys here. Right in here, that's where we hid the last trail camera that Tim and I set up. And right here is where that giant white piece of light seemed to come down. So I'll try and put that in. If I can remember to put that in the film, I will. What's that?
Somebody's walked in here recently.
Oh yeah? Where do you see the prints? Oh yeah.
There's been a deer thing.
Well, let's go take a look. Now, prior to coming in here, I actually left Robin Haynes a phone call message and basically just told her that we were coming in and that Mark was coming in as well. And didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I know that she was going to be telling me that we're on our way. We get a lot of weird energy from over there.
Both of my ears just went weird.
Yeah, this area over here always seems to creep Tim and I out.
Well, this is where I got sick a couple of years ago too.
Yes. You got sick right here along with me. What's that?
Coyote's been here.
Mark said the coyotes have just been here. Oh, there's that strong, pungent skunk smell. This is what I was telling you about, Mark. It's always around this spot right here.
I smell it back there. I don't smell it here. There it is.
And it seems to move. Like, we'll go to the gifting site. So the gifting site is at that tree right there. And when we go to the gifting site, when we come back, that skunk smell is going to be gone. Usually is. Last time, the skunk smell, Mark, took off into that area that we all get weirded out by.
Yeah, you just get faint whiffs of it.
Yeah.
I did see a skunk yesterday.
I know.
That's weird. The first one I've ever seen.
Explain, you've been up here 12 years?
15.
15 years. Explain how rare it is to see a skunk up here.
I spent a lot of time in the bush. Just as an example, this weekend, I've had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I spent Friday doing something else. Otherwise, I would have been out here all day Friday. I spent from dawn till dusk out here pretty much yesterday, just looking for deer. And then again, we're out here again today. So this is my wife is a hunting widow, as she says it. During hunting season, I am in the bush a lot.
So when you smell something like this area here, and this all around us here, kind of having a faint skunk smell, what's your thoughts?
But it's coming and going.
Yeah.
It's only like as you take a step, but there it is, and then it's gone. Like it's happened twice now since we've walked in here to me, but it's not staying, so it tells me that it's not a skunk.
Well, and that's the thing.
And skunks don't smell until they're actually threatened or anything like that.
Yes. Well, let's go to the gifting site and see what's going on. I just got goosebumps.
There's been lots of coyotes in here.
I can already tell that our feather has moved. The feather has been pushed out a little bit. The loonie is where it's supposed to be. The quarter has moved. The piece of jade is stuck where it is. The, where is it here? The quartz is where it's supposed to be. The ring has moved, and the whistle is still right there. So, Mark, if I could borrow you for a quick second so I could just give you the camera here while I put this down here. So the quarter was originally right here. So we'll put that back there. And then the ring we will put up by the quartz. Put that right in here. Kind of jam it in there a little bit. So that way, I should go this way so I'm not blocking the camera. That way, in there a little bit tighter. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be putting a trail camera around here somewhere.
They're coming in.
What's that? From over there?
Yep.
So what are you picking up?
They're coming in closer to see what we're doing.
Yeah. What are you feeling as that's going on?
Well, when we first pulled in, when we were doing the intro off camera, it felt like they moved out, but now they're coming back in because they're curious about what we're doing here right now.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Like to the point where we've got goose pickers.
For one thing about this place that I don't think a lot of people understand as I kind of pan around here is how claustrophobic it is. Like, even though we're in an open trail area right here, Mark, the trees just kind of gobble everything up.
Yeah. You're looking at a 35 to 40 foot sight radius.
Mm-hmm. Smelling the skunk again?
No.
What is that smell? It smells damp.
Almost smells like, like a gourmet coffee.
That's odd.
No, it's gone.
Oh, I love this place. So let's figure out a place for us to put the trail cam here, because we do not have a strap for that, but we want to make sure it's in a place where it's hidden and we're able to see what's moving around here. You're probably going to want to open it and turn it on. Should be all ready to go. So what Mark's doing right now is he's breaking up the shape of the trail camera. I think, like on the left side.
We could build it up more like a tunnel.
Yeah. I think that might be a little too high. On the left side there, right where your fingers just were, There's a little bit of a triangular hole there. Like if we could stuff some moss in there, that'll really break it up. A little bit more towards the camera. Yeah, that's perfect. That now we're good. Yeah, that looks way better. Where is the camera? Oh, there it is. Hey, this is your first time where I can show you where that poop was.
Yeah. I haven't been up there for a year.
Well, I feel like we need to walk slow into there. Like there's eyes on us. Where?
I actually stepped right on where I run here, but I got that one. See, there's a wolf in here too.
Where do you see a wolf track?
The wolf got right there. Right in front of you.
Oh, the wolf scat. Well, let's zoom in on that.
Right under my boot.
Wolf poop. I'm gonna find the poop area again. I think it's over here. It is so quiet here. There's no birds making noise, no squirrels making noise. And you know what? I know it's only been like 6 weeks, but it seems like the trees have got bigger. Especially the smaller trees and shrubs. So where are we parked? I gotta figure out. I think the poop would be over here. Moose Dookie. Over here, right over here, Mark, is where we were playing hide and go seek with them the last time we were here. There were 3 of them. More moose poop. I'm goosebumping all over right now. Right back here is where Lolly Bennett and I had the tree knocks happen.
It's quiet.
It's very quiet. So the feeling that it is it's a very uncomfortable quiet right now. It's kind of like a what are you doing here quiet. We're watching you. Well, thanks to my quietness, I definitely know we're here now. So just so you know, that little black thing there is a tree. It is not a Sasquatch. I want to show you where that poop was. Get your opinion of it. It's back over here. You just hear a voice? Sound like a voice coming from in there. Kind of like a muffled voice. We'll go over there in a minute. Yeah, it was this way. Now remember, this poop is 2 months old. There it is.
Bear.
So the story behind this is Tim and I were sitting on our lawn chairs preparing the trail cameras, and we heard something big move through, and we heard the farting. That lasted about 15 seconds. Here, let me see that on camera.
Hard to tell, so dried up now.
I know it's real old. Right now it's 2 months old. We have samples of it. But the interesting part about it is where it happened. And I've never seen bear poop like that. And a couple other people I've shown pictures to, outdoor people, they said that doesn't look like bear. And it's too small to be horse. I mean, it looks big on camera, but it's too small to be horse.
Oh, horse. You'd see the grass in it.
So Tim and I were sitting there. It's dusk. We hear about a 15-second fart. And we come back a week later. We found the spot. And that was all fresh. Mister.
Yeah, my first thought would be bear for sure, but it is kind of tucked into the trees.
Like a bear wouldn't tuck its ass into the trees to drop a deuce.
No.
That's what's kind of weird about it.
They don't really care.
No.
The bear does shit in the woods.
It's hard to believe. Have you ever seen a bear poop in the woods live?
Yeah, I have actually.
So you've confirmed this?
Yes. Bears do shit in the woods.
Wow. We learned something, people. We learned something big time right there. And the interesting part about it is camp would be right in over here, just behind these trees here. That's base camp. So we're what? 35 yards from base camp?
Yeah, 35 to 50 somewhere there. Can't see it.
Well, if you look at that tall tree right there, those are the tree entrances into the other path to the crash site. Sorry guys, I'm trying my best with the camera here. What you feeling, buddy?
Just trying to listen.
That sounded like a horse.
Hard to hear with the wind doing what it's doing.
The ravens are here too, so. Here, let's go this way. I will take the lead. I'm going to take you to the meadow. So Mark was here, or just through these trees. I'm going to zoom in here. Mark was here. If you can look through those trees right there, there's a meadow down below, right in there. And that's not the meadow we're going to, though. In 2018, that's where Mark stood on the outskirts of that, where Merle and I walked in here looking for more wreckage. And it was over in these trees right here that we heard the samurai chatter. But Mark, you know the meadow I'm taking you to, I believe.
Yep.
All right, that's the gifting site tree in the middle. As long as we have that as our reference, it's easy to not get lost. What's the quickest way to the meadow? This way. It's the easiest. Starting to get that out of breath feeling again from being here. Mark, do you have your binoculars?
Yep.
What is that beside the tree? Where is it? Probably nothing, but right there. It looks like a head, a dark head. Just straight through. I'm trying to get the camera on it. Straight through by that big tree over there.
At the end of the log.
Well, let's make our way up there. See what we can see. So Tim and I came in here the last time we were here together. Tim saw something run through here. Bipedal. And then it was over here by the gifting tree where he saw the one kind of pop its head up and then duck down. So that's just over here. You can see moose have been through here. That's a moose track. Not as hard to breathe in here today. We lost oxygen in this spot here. And what do you think of this?
It could be be snow damage too. It's hard to say.
See, we thought that, but if you look at a couple of the long logs inside, they're actually tucked in. Like this one here, which is being pinned. This one right here, this rounded one, which is being pinned by this log that came down. And then there's kind of an opening down in here. And just the way things have been kind of slotted against it.
Well, if there was anything that laid down in there, it didn't crunch the moss or anything though.
I don't think they finished it. Because when we first entered this meadow years ago, this wasn't here.
Buck stump.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't feel comfortable back here today. How are you feeling?
I'm okay so far. Just been looking.
Feeling a little nerved up right now. But then again, when am I not? Right?
A lot of deadfall. A lot of deadfall from the pine beetle.
Yeah. You guys want to come say hello? No, get the hell out of here, Dave. We'll keep Mark. It's David Mark. You're very familiar with us. We'd love it if you could come say hi to us. Could you please let us know where you are? We know you're around. Can you please make this sound? Mark, do you want to clap your hands?
Sound like a tree in the window.
It went bang, bang, bang. Do it again.
Something drops its eyes near us. You should have worn brown pants.
Yeah. Right. Can you zoom in over here with your binoculars? Right beyond this tree, there's like a black, it's probably a stump. Was that a stump?
Yeah, it's a down tree.
Is it? See if we can get it here. Yeah. Right there. Shape of a head. Pareidolia, my friends. Pareidolia. Does anybody want to say hello? We know you know we're here. We'd love it if you could let us know where you are so we could say hi. That white rock there in the trees over here.
Yeah.
Right in there. I'll see if we can zoom in to get it. Lee Strauss loves that rock. It's right there.
You could have taken it home.
It's kind of hard. It's heavy. Wasn't enough room in the Jeep
The same.
or his vehicle.
We got lots of rocks here.
Yeah, lots of rocks. Let's go down this trail over here. Ah, it's the whiskey jack up there that's making noise. I'm going to cut through over here. We're going to go behind.
That's a sapsucker. That was the first bird you saw was a sapsucker. He flew to that tree,
Yeah,
and now he's back. This one's a whiskey jack or Stellar J.
nice.
That was a sapsucker.
Well, let's go down the trail over here. Whiskey jack's going crazy, or woodpecker on the
Yeah,
trail.
sapsucker. Yeah.
So Robin Haynes doesn't like us going beyond this point right here. Basically what she says is beyond this tree here going this way, it's that's their territory. We're not really supposed to cross into here. So we kind of abide by that. There's the rock that Lee loves. Hi Lee, I miss you. You're so extra small. Not going that far, just going into this clearing here for a better shot. Not breaking the rules. Something's been using this trail.
There's a few really well used trails.
Oh yeah.
The horses are through here quite a bit too.
Yeah. That looks weird, but it's a piece of wood. I don't know if you can see it. Looks like a little head right there. It's a piece of wood. Yeah, right there. People will look at it like, what is that? No, it's not a head. Well, it could be Dirty Filth, because he's bald like that. Could be. I don't know. Well, Mark, let's take a break here. Let's head back to base camp and figure out where we're going to set up the next trail cam. I want to take that tree down. That'd be good firewood, that tree.
Take those two there.
And those ones too. Deadfall, those are the ones that cause fires. There's 3 of them there. Just hasn't fallen yet. Man, this would be a good one here on the ground. If we could get a trailer up here. I ain't carrying it. I bet they're waiting for us to go back to base camp before they scare the hell out of us. What do you think?
I don't know. Did that, now I got a headache.
What's the headache feel like?
Just my usual one right up here. A lot of times we left that one time and I got the headache, the ice cream headache. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's happened to us before, man.
Yep.
All right. Keep our eyes open here. It doesn't feel, at least I don't feel, Mark, that we're being watched as much right now.
Oh, there it goes.
Huh?
There it goes.
So now he's testing his headache. He's going to go back there to see if it flares up again. And when he gets to about here, it'll release. Is it releasing?
Yeah, all gone.
Figured. All right, let's sneak this way. Once again, we always keep understanding where the gifting site is, so that way we can make sure that we can get back. Mark and I were talking on the way up here about how it's so easy to get turned around in the forest, and it happens in familiar areas that you don't even know. Once again, there's our trail cam, right in the moss there. I think that looks good. It's hard to see. That's good. And we'll see who comes up here. See if the skunk smell comes back too. You know, the best part about using the iPhone is, in the latest update, some brainiac figured, you know what? Let's take away the reverse camera from the picture, so I can't flip it back to me. There's the skunk smell. Boy, that just hit hard. Where are you? It was like it just came and went. And remember, guys, we're only 2 sets of eyes here. So on the video, if you see something move, if you see something run around, please tag it and make it in a comment below. We'd greatly appreciate that. Something tells me we've got to walk real cautious around here right now. I don't know why. And whatever it is, better not be in my vehicle eating my sandwich, because I'm hungry. It's always right in here that it feels weird. I don't know what it is. Something always feels weird in these part of the trees. Like the exit is that way. You can see the trail right there. The exit is that way. But something always feels weird in there. What you feeling, buddy?
Not feeling it. Just get that thing with.
Well, let's go back to base camp and we can move on over. What you seeing?
Just trying to see if anything, you smell anything, and hear anything.
Something tells me to take this trail, so I'm going to. Just another way in or out. This is where we found the loony lying on the ground there. Don't see anything out of the ordinary. All right. Mark, it's been almost 7 years since we first started coming here, and I think we did the first paranormal investigation with you, me, and Merle hanging on out here at Flight 21. And, you know, that day went a little bit differently than we thought it would. We came for ghosts and paranormal activity. We ended up getting samurai chatter and potentially escorted out of the forest by Sasquatch in the middle of the day.
Yeah, we did, yeah. And I think one of the things about it is I am probably the biggest skeptic out there. So, I mean, it takes a lot to prove, to me. So, but the stuff that we heard, we definitely heard. With the stuff that we definitely experienced. So, what it was, we think we know what it was. Hopefully that's exactly what we're thinking is correct. You guys heard the samurai chatter. You guys looked over at me. I was standing stone still, just looking around like I usually do, not saying a word. And you guys both heard the voices. And then when we came back into where we're sitting now, actually, Merle started walking a little bit off to our left here. And all of a sudden he started running back to the landing, and because he had heard something in the low scrub. So that was 2 incidents. And then
That was right over there behind that log. If you look right where my finger's pointing, there's some metal there. That's where that happened, right by that.
And then as we were leaving, Merle was already down the road about 50 yards. David just left. I was picking up the rest of my gear, my pack, my rifle. I had just actually thrown my pack over my shoulder. You look back at the same time that I had heard something walking through the bush here. And it was fast walking too. It was like, you know, how a forestry person walks through the bush, very fast. Somebody that knows how to traverse through the bush. You saw me drop my pack and shoulder my rifle, and that's when you were like, what is it? What is it? I said, I don't know, but it's coming quick. I actually thought at that time it was a bear, but then you listen to the sound of it coming through the bush, and it was bipedal. It wasn't four-legged, it was bipedal. So.
And that happened right in those trees right there.
I'm actually pretty much in the same spot my pack was that day. We also had the REM pod going off in the middle of the landing too. We had a REM pod sitting on top of my pack, and that was going off. So it was a day full of lots of experiences that day.
My theory on Flight 21 is that we know the cause of this area, which is the crash site, which is back down that trail, maybe 60 yards.
Yep.
50 yards, if that.
Part of the crash section is there, yes.
Yeah. This is where most of the bodies were found, in this area. So if we look at that as the cause, as an outdoors person who's tracked animals, you've been a wolf tracker, you've been a mountain lion tracker, you've been a hunting guide, you've spent the last, pretty much all your life in the forest.
Yeah.
As much time as you can. You've been face to face with grizzly bears, you've been face to face with black bears.
Yep.
You've been face to face with 1,1800 pound moose, and everything that the British Columbia wilderness has to offer. What made you think that when you were standing in here in 2018 that was something bipedal coming at you?
You learn to distinguish the sounds in the forest. You can hear when something's four-legged. You can hear that coming through the forest. You can definitely tell that there's four legs moving. It was almost, because I used to work in forestry as well. I was a forestry engineer and silviculturist. It sounded like somebody, how we used to walk through the bush. It was quick, it was fast. It was, when we were engineering and running deflection lines and stuff, you were basically running through the forest. And that's what this sounded like to me. Not the rain gear so much, that swish, 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 but you could hear the footsteps coming. And I have no explanation. Nothing did pop out. I did not see anything, but I definitely heard what was coming through the bush. And after spent 25 plus years in industry, sawmilling industry as an electrician, my hearing is really bad. So if I can hear it, it's got to be close.
How did you feel when you started to recognize that it was on 2 feet rather than 4?
I didn't, it was one of those things we know that there's nobody else up in here, because if they're going to come into here, they're going to have a vehicle. We didn't see any vehicles. It's what is it a crazy person? Is it, you don't know. I mean, there's lots of people that live off grid. You don't know, maybe there's somebody living in a tent up here, but chances of that are slim to none. We're like 45 kilometers back from the pavement. So that's a long ways for somebody to come out here and hide out. But my feeling was, and it always is you go into a defense mechanism. It's you or them type thing. It's same as when you're facing down a bear or anything else like that. You go right into, okay, what's coming at me and how do I deal with it?
We have had since then, you and I have been out here numerous times. It wasn't until 2020 when we started looking into more of the Sasquatch aspect of it all. and your daughter placed the first nickel out here that seemed to vanish, and it was traded. What do you remember that moment?
I do, yeah. Yeah, Katie came out with me, and we were looking around. It was a good experience for her to see the wreckage from the plane crash and stuff like that. It's a saddening sight because of the amount of people that actually perished in the site. But for her to, I happen to have a nickel, and I can't remember what year nickel was, from the 60s.
1969.
Yeah. And we placed that, and she just wanted to leave something in the bush, as a gifting thing. That's what we were doing that day. And to have it disappear, and then I can't remember what year, was it 75?
No, it was a 2019 that reappeared a week later.
It was a while ago now. I don't remember, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, stuff like that has happened. When we were filming up here again, we had, I saw the footprint that was, I'm only about 15 feet away from where we saw the footprint.
Right.
And, at that time, we cut a stick. We notched a stick to start the end of the footprint. And then Samantha and I actually, she suggested that we go check out the other footprint, which we did, and we laid that stick. And I actually got down on my hands and knees, and you could tell where the imprint was, pushed the needles and everything down, and where they were still standing up. So that was the start and that was the end. And we laid that stick in there, and that stick was the exact same as the footprint that we found inside the landing where we're sitting now.
Going back to that 2024 incident that you were just talking about, once again, let's reiterate, you're a guy who, prior to meeting me, you never believed in any of this stuff.
No.
And you know what? You have infested my head with the outdoors game. I've kind of infested your head in the cryptid paranormal game. Prior to this, you didn't believe in Sasquatch, and now what do you think Sasquatch is? I mean, you've experienced it. You had an encounter with me and two other people, including my son, in 2022. Flight 21 seems to be a very active area. How do you feel just about the entire Sasquatch occurrence now?
It's I relate it to stuff that we've seen in the paranormal. The investigations we've done in the paranormal, and there's no explanation of why something happens. And then you translate that to Bigfoot, and I mean, the amount of time that I've spent in the bush is, compared to most people, I have probably spent 10, 20 times worth what most people actually do. I've spent a lot of time in the bush, and I'm still spending lots of time in the bush. Have I ever seen something walk in front of me in the daytime that I can absolutely say, yes, that was a Sasquatch? No. But when we were out here in 2024, we were surrounded. It
was right around there in the dark.
And you at that time, because you watched me, and I went on because I'm camp security, the rifle, or at that time a shotgun, went from being over my shoulder to a ready position, because I could hear something move from over there, and it ended up over here. And at that time, you asked me, actually it was before it actually had moved over here, you asked me what I was feeling, what was going on. And I said, there's 5. I said, there's a mom and a dad, there's 2 juveniles, and then there's like an uncle who's like the aggressive one, the enforcer. And after that, we were here. You guys were performing other experiments and stuff like that, and I was just paying attention. And then I believe it was Merle looked at me, and he just went, "What's going on?" Because the gun had come to the ready position. It wasn't at my shoulder; it was just ready. And that's when I said, I had that feeling that we needed to go. It was time. They were pushing us out.
Now, you believe that down this trail right here and to the left of that one got about 20 yards from us.
Yeah, as you can see in the bush here, you cannot see very far. we're in the middle of a landing right now, but even to the edge of the landing is only 20 yards. So something standing 30 yards in the bush, you can't see it. So 30 yards, when I'm dealing with bears and stuff like that, 30 yards is pretty close. 30 yards is that's a make or break type situation where something's going to happen. And I didn't know if anything was going to happen, but I had that feeling that we were being told, time to go. You guys have overstayed your welcome. It's time for you to leave.
What was it like when we started driving away and those two high-pitched whistles happened when we were driving away?
That whole night, including Mike's experience back at the truck, everybody's on edge. Everybody's, you're amped up. I think it took us probably a good hour to set up everything that we had set up here. And I was on guard, and you guys had the whole place packed up and in the Jeep, and we were transporting stuff in under 10 minutes. So everybody was on high edge. So, when the adrenaline's going and people are excited, and we just knew it was time. Like, it was our time to. That's it. You're done for the night. See you later.
Here's what I recall about that. Mostly everything that I have learned about safety in the forest has been from you.
Yeah.
Over the years that we have been hanging out, you've taught me so much on wilderness safety and everything. I mean, I go into the wilderness now. I have, before I would go in, just, my wallet and keys. And now I have safety supplies like helping start a fire.
Yep.
and everything in between. That night when you said, it's time to go, I remember looking into your eyes. I've never seen fear in you before, because you're somebody who never gets too excited. You never get too high. You never get too low. And I'm not saying that you were scared. I don't want to say that. But I had never seen a cause for concern look in the entire time that I have known you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the word saw fear. I don't know if it was fear, but I actually saw what looked to me as fear for the first time.
Part of that is, number one, if a Sasquatch was to step out, I certainly don't want to be that person that's in the news saying, "Oh, we bagged a Sasquatch." That's not me. I'm not interested in that. That's not why I'm out here. But my whole concern, my whole gameplay is about keeping the rest of the camp. I'm that line of defense. So whatever is going to come into camp, whether that's a Sasquatch, a bear, a moose, or whatever, I'm that line of defense. They've got to go through me. And my concern, even that night, was that I'm going to have to deal with whatever's going to come through the bush. And I don't know what it is, because we hadn't seen anything yet. So what am I going to be dealing with? But at that, my feelings, of course, at that time, after hearing the branches break, go through, and circle us, around us, that's not normal. A black bear, they're going to go the other direction. A grizzly, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go the other direction. Moose and stuff like that, they're not going to come in, because I think we even had a fire going, if I can't remember. I don't remember rightly. But we had lights and everything else going. So nothing wildlife is going to come in. So what am I dealing with? What am I going to have to deal with as it comes into the camp? So, that's my thing, is I'm not only responsible for my safety, but I'm responsible for all your guys' safety too.
Robin Haynes, who's been on these Secrets of the Forest videos before, on the phone, kind of dictating what has happened. A lot of times she's been extremely accurate. We called her after that 2024 incident, when we all gathered at a coffee shop, to try and assess what we actually just experienced. And how shocked were you when all of a sudden she said, I felt there were 5 of them there, and pretty much said exactly what you had said: a mama, papa, 2 juveniles, and 1 big one?
I wasn't, it's not, to me, I don't think it was a surprise. as much as it confirms, you know, as somebody that does do somewhat investigating and stuff like that, confirmation of what you're feeling is confirmed by somebody who's nowhere near the area, has no way of knowing what actually transpired, and yet I mean, she was on speakerphone, and she said a mom and a dad, two juveniles, and then like an uncle, a protector, an aggressor. That was exactly what she said, which is exactly what I said while we were standing right here.
It's been a year or so since you've been out here.
Yep.
How do you feel about being back?
It's a welcome back to me. Like, I like the site, even though it's a sad sight, due to the people that perished. I enjoy being in the bush, and it's not that I couldn't have come back into the area and come up here by myself or with somebody else or whatever. I just haven't had the, why would I? I've been here several times, unless I'm coming back up to actually do what we're doing today. I just haven't had a reason to come back. I've traveled, I've been home very little this hunting season because I've been all over the place chasing critters. And, now we're back up here. Even driving in today, it was, to me, I had a very relaxed feeling. There was one time previous that when we were coming up here quite often, and I sat down on a log. I put my rifle to the side. I sat down on a log, closed my eyes, and just let myself absorb into the whole whatever's here. And that's the trip. When we were driving out, we crossed down through the gully, got up to the other side, and I got hit with an ice cream headache. And that, to me, that's something like an attachment type thing, and I just get it right across my forehead. It lasted a couple minutes and then was gone again. So there is stuff here. I don't have an explanation until something steps out. This is the skeptic side of me again. Until something steps out in front of me, I can't say, that, but that's just me being the skeptic.
Mark, as you put out the fire here, why don't you lead us to the area where the other trail cam will be set up. Let's see if our people can find it. Where could it be? Well, I kind of know. There it is. Tucked underneath the log. There it is. Why is this a good spot, Mark?
You'll capture everybody coming into the area. It's always a good idea when you're putting out trail cams to have two, so you can actually see who's coming in, just in case one of your trail cams does go missing. And it's also a good area for animals crossing, people coming through. See what you capture.
I think I need to camouflage it just a little bit. Like a little piece fell. Down there. That. A little bit up in there. Well, buddy, I want to say thanks for coming up to Flight 21. It was nice to spend a couple hours here with you and just kind of go over the area. And again, it was good. I think we accomplished a lot. We had a couple of things move. at the gifting site. We can't tell if it's Sasquatch or not, but on the flip side, we've got a trail cam up there now.
Yep. Yeah. Capture the evidence. That's what it's about. Getting the proof.
And the good part about it is now we're going to be able to see if it's people or not.
Yeah.
Because we will come back next week, hopefully, or the week after. And, well, the week after is Halloween, but we're going to come back hopefully next week just to see if there's been any updates and movement at the gifting site. We should be able to grab it. And with our secondary trail cam that we've set up, we should be able to find out if there is any sort of movement of people. Because it can be an animal, it can be a human checking things out. People are curious, you know, but the good part about it is I don't think it is people moving it because nothing has moved.
Nothing's been taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and people usually take things.
Yep.
Especially there's $1.25. And in the Canadian economy right now, $1.25 could go a long way, right? Pays a mortgage.
That's about 60 cents American.
Yeah, right now. So we're going to pack up here. I do want to say thank you, and I do apologize for the audio. I'm going to try and improve on that for the next 1 or 2 times that we are out here. It is something that is concerning to me, so we will try and get that done. But the main thing is we're back out at Flight 21. My name is Dave Scott. This is Little Marc Spender, a.k.a. Timber Hunter, in our chat room. And do me a favor, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Thank you for watching Secrets of the Forest. Don't forget to like and share, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care, guys.